Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Kol Haloyim, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakadash. It's in our digital epistle to the 12 tribes of Israel.
Now I got my car vacuumed, and I didn't have to lift a finger. Not a damn one. Tell me why my dishes are done. Tell me why yard work is going on. You know what I'm doing? I'm just gonna go run to the grocery store, get a sody, maybe get some hot Cheetos. I feel like I have harnessed the power of the divine feminine. Maybe sounding like a harlot isn't so bad. Maybe I don't hate to sound. I am a married woman.
Right.
I do have 2 evidences of my harlotry, walking around, calling me mama and shit, making my car nasty so my husband.
You know, if you directly had sex for money to these women, you're not a whore that they you know. But you gotta get it. You're just working to provide. You're working to provide. You know, but now that she's saying that she's putting out, and you know, it gets stuff done for her. Her husband is going the extra mile. Like, men have no problem helping women out, helping women. You know, what are they getting in return? Reciprocal. You know, they're mad at her because you gotta do effort. You know, you actually give him something to get something. Why aren't you just putting him on the doghouse and just withholding and him not just doing these things because you know he's tired of confrontation or
Gotta go take it to get it clean. If you know anything about my car, you know that I housed mice in here. But I've harnessed the power from which my poo nanny can make. And now I don't have to lift a finger for anything. Yeah, chap, I don't hate to sound like a harlot. I got that poo nanny power.
Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Chishu Zed. All right, so this wife got online and made this statement, and she's going viral right now. This video is going really, really viral because out of everything you just heard, right? She said she put out for her husband, and now he's doing more to show gratitude, and she doesn't have to do much. She's helping her out, whatever. But people are like, oh, so you've got to do all that for your husband to help out? They're actually shooting this video down. Now, luckily for her, she actually has a backbone and she responded back to the haters, right? But maybe she didn't know that TikTok isn't the place where you want to go and say good things about your marriage or your husband or just men in general. And you have to give some type of disclaimer before you do, or else modern women, feminists, whoever is the
second Ezra 16:24. And like as a whore envieth a right and honest and virtuous woman.
majority over there and who's running the algorithm will attack you.
I have a video going viral right now, and unfortunately, some of you women in the comments are making me side with the men, so let's have a chat. If you're my mom, keep scrolling. I'm not kidding. Please keep scrolling.
Even just the way she said that, unfortunately, you're making me side with the men. You know, that's like the way women have to talk on TikTok before they say something good about their husband, their boyfriend, or side with men. Keep listening.
The video is about putting out on.
So that's so strong. That's so strong the cult is, you know, of this, you know, the anti-men sisterhood. You know, it's not the sisterhood of people who actually try to build them up. But, I mean, excuse me if I'm wrong. Do I hear anything about sisterhood in the scriptures being strong? Man, it's about that brotherhood, man. You know, so this is especially strong. You know, when brother, especially this is how they're doing Shedom, especially. I mean, you also know that type of area hyper centralized, you know, white feminists and stuff. But you know, this is what they're doing to Shedom. Is worse with Eve.
Saturday morning and get a bunch of chores done because my husband likes my poo nanny power. All right, the amount of women in the comments saying, I cannot believe you have to do that. Baby, I don't have to do anything. Newsflash, some women like getting their guts stirred before the sun has risen. You understand what I'm saying to you? Some women enjoy it. It's a win-win for me, baby. I get D served to me on a platter. I ain't got to lift a finger. I don't even got to move my body from the bed that I am in. And shit is getting done around the house. Now, would my husband be doing that shit anyways? Absolutely. But now he's got pep in his stuff, and I got pep in mine too. If you feel like you have to do it, baby, you find a new partner, not me. All right? I have never in my life with my husband had to do it. It has never been a chore to me because when my mental state is not there, if I've got too much going on in my life, in my mind, my husband doesn't make me do nothing. And if yours is, baby, that's a you problem. That is a you problem. And to the men commenting, it's either the nanny or the nanny. May that love never find me.
See the nanny or the mammy. Okay, let me check out a few comments here. Top comment here says, better yet, some women actually like their husbands. This is the top comment.
Titus 2:1. But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine, that the aged men be sober, grave, temperate, and sound in faith, and in charity and patience. The aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not the false accuser, not given to wine, teachers of good things. You know, and men have been able to become the outlet of women's bad behavior. A woman could say, "Oh, if you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best." So they believe even at your worst, you should do all these things. But if you want someone to do things for you, why don't you do things that they enjoy? You know? Man, I should have got the other video on Instagram of this Israelite woman, and she's a stay-at-home mom, and I think they're both Israelites. And he works full time. She's staying home, and then she's not trying to give him none, no cootie, no coochie. So he after work he goes out trying to talk to shorties, and she's tripping like, "Oh, he's not helping me at home. He's not helping me at home." Spread them legs, you know. And she, "Oh, I need to put him on child support," but you're not gonna have you're staying home, so probably gonna be hard for you to get a job. Probably gonna get some 16, 15, 16, 17, you know. And then it's not gonna be enough, and you're not even gonna get 100% of child support. So you're gonna be taken from him. He's gonna be struggling, and then you gonna want more help. So you're gonna be stuck, you know. That they may teach the young women to be sober, love their husbands, and love their children. And these women have been teaching other women to withhold from their husbands, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their husbands, and that the word of thy power not be blasphemed. You know. Young men likewise exhort yourself to be sober minded in all things, shewing a pattern of good works in doctrine, shewing uncorruptness, gravity, and sincerity. But you're not allowed to expect a pattern of good behavior from what you do to her. Now concerning 1 Corinthians 7, now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, is it good for a man to not touch a woman? Nevertheless, avoid fornication. Let every man have his own wife, and every woman have her own husband, lest the husband render unto the due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication. So if she was just withholding the legs, and I had all this labor list for him, and he stepped out, not even committed adultery with an unwedded woman, they would say he destroyed his family, he lose everything, has the right to have everything taken from him, how dare he, So the man, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and every woman have her own husband, lest the husband render unto the wife due benevolence. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence. That's the sex rights. Likewise, let the wife unto the husband. The wife hath not power over her own body, but the husband. And likewise, the husband does not have power over his body, but the wife. You can't just be withholding, make these terrible decisions. That you would have to deal with. You would act like, oh, I could leave whenever I want, but then if you actually got another shorty pregnant, then now a lot of women really not leaving, and now you just created more mess in your family. Defraud, 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 defraud. If you don't have sex with somebody, that's legally considered marriage fraud. Defraud, not one, not the other. Okay, defraud ye, not the one, the other, except it be with consent for a time. Ye may not give yourselves to fasting and prayer. Come again, that Satan tempt you not in your incontinency. It got to be something that agreed upon. Even on TV, it's promoted that you weaponize it. If there's a big argument, oh, the husband might be holding out for a month. Ecclesiasticus 22. Stumbled not at a beauty of a woman, especially she could hold them. She might be beautiful, but she'll hold them legs, but she'll market it to the other people. Desire not for her for pleasure. If a woman she maintained her husband full of anger, repentance, much reproach. A wicked woman obeyed of courage, and maketh a heavy countenance and a wounded heart. Coming from work, doing all this labor, take the load off him. But they're talking to, oh, you have to do that. But these people are so-called sexually liberated, not as in sexual freedom. You can find sexual liberation in a marriage with one man. You don't even have to get married. You could have found one person. Whenever you lost your virginity, you could continue having sex with that person and have sexual. You could be sexually liberated. But it's really saying from a husband, from the structure of a man. Because now, when she has the husband, all that sex that she was having with different men, if every time she came to her husband and she was having with different men, she would be encouraged. She'd be strong, independent. But now she's doing it to have a happy home, and you have to do that. You don't just hold your hips, and you don't just create confrontation. To make a heavy countenance and a wounded heart, a woman that will not comfort her husband in distress, maketh feeble hands, and make it weak hands and feeble needs. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Give the water no passage, neither the wicked woman liberty to get abroad.
So people are like, wow, so you actually like your husband? Somebody else who says, crazy concept these days, but I actually enjoy my husband. And you can imagine, they don't even want to get online and argue back and forth, and it doesn't help. It doesn't. Somebody else who says, how dare your marriage be healthy and mutually beneficial? There are happy marriages out here. But apart from that, people are satisfied. And we all have a good relationship.
Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai. I hope this lesson was edifying. Call Halom Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai Bahashem Ruach Kwadash.